you guys need a curfew. You know, and most people might feel, oh, as young adults, you don't need curfew, you can do whatever you want. Not in my house.
Nothing will be the same. No fear, no shame, no tears. Nothing but love here. Me and my dukes, we came to speak the truth. Starting conversations with parents and their youth. So clear your mind and get.
Hi.
Hey everybody, what's going on?
Welcome
Thanks for
back.
watching.
Welcome back to the Me and My Dukes podcast.
Welcome,
if
welcome,
you
welcome.
are new here, we are a family channel, and we just discuss different things that young people and parents go through and face together. So today we're going to talk about adjusting to the new norm as young adults, and particularly for our family, everybody hit adulthood or young adulthood quite obviously at a different time, and now everyone is at home, and we're
under the
adjusting
same
to
roof
life
together.
as as young adults. So let's go. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about the change in, first of all, big brothers, having big brothers and big brothers telling you what to do and so on and so forth, and then having little sisters, going from having little sisters to now you have young adults for sisters. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel like it's still like a learning process for everybody in it, because it just started kind of. Well, for everybody, because they just about to turn 18 at least. So it's still a process. Even with you, like I can still see like sometimes like y'all still kind of a little bit surprised, or not even surprised. It's just you're still getting used to it. So it's just.
I feel like with Daniel being here, I feel like it's kind of like having a second mom. This sounds really weird, but I feel like Daniel, he has to get used to that me and Jasmine aren't babies anymore. We don't do the same things we did when he was here a long time ago, and he kind of sees us as babies still. But I feel like what John said is true. It's all a learning process. We have to get used to each other and the changes that we're all going through and the ups and downs in our lives. I think sometimes we're still in that headspace that we're all the younger. Like we all think we're younger than we really are, and we're still in that headspace. So we have to readjust every time we want to talk, or every time we see somebody doing something. Like, hey, what are you doing? And then we remember, oh yeah, you can do that now. You're old enough to do that now. I think that's something specifically Daniel has to do too. Mainly.
Go ahead and let me know. I feel like y'all right. It's a lot of stuff that I gotta sit back and just contemplate or think about, look back on, and realize that we all young adults in here. Y'all being the newest addition to the young adult gang. I gotta realize that y'all gonna do y'all thing. Y'all gonna dress, go out, do what y'all gotta do, all in a mature way. And I've been gone for 4 years, like everybody know now.
Wow, 4
so
years.
I left. Y'all was freshmen in high school.
Going into freshman year.
Yeah, going into freshman year. I ain't even start yet. So I remember my baby girls, and now y'all graduated already. Y'all about to be out here in this real world.
Yeah.
And I got to see y'all for that.
And
But at the same time, you still my babies.
Yeah, I know you'll come home sometimes from work, and I'll be gone, or Jada will be gone, and I know you'll be like, "What? Call us? Hey, where are you? Where are you? Who told you can go out?"
Yeah, I think the hardest adjustment is for me, shifting your attention from one child. Like, okay, when you left, shifting my attention from you to Jonathan, and then from Jonathan on to the twins, and now that the twins are young adults, it's like, okay, what's going on? Like, who needs mothering? Who still needs mothering? And I know that you guys still need me, but it's in a different capacity, and switching and getting into that a different role of, okay, I'm no longer parenting children that needs me almost every single second along the way, to young adults that I have to allow them some room to navigate this new season in their life, really. And then the other side to that is, as everyone is home, establishing and keeping that same respect level. Like, I know you're young adults and everything like that, but at the end of the day, you're still living home, and there still needs to be a level of respect there.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think it was a hard thing for us to establish, but as I give more room to you, we're finding that, okay, there needs to be new boundaries. Like, for the longest, you guys didn't have curfew, because you guys always, especially the girls, they always did what they were supposed to do, come home when they're supposed to come home and stuff like that. But now, as you guys are getting older, now we have to have conversations like, ooh, you guys need a curfew.
Yeah.
You know, and most people might feel, oh, as young adults, you don't need curfew, you can do whatever you want. Not in my house.
Looks at Daniel.
We could talk about that off the camera.
Stairs.
Another thing that's different about being young adults is we're all living under the same roof, and
Yeah.
it's normalized that once you reach a certain age, once you graduate high school, you have to move out and get your own house and stuff. But we're all under the same roof for right now, at least. We're all in the same house, navigating, just interacting with each other under
Yeah.
the same roof, and that's something we had to adjust to as well.
Yeah, that's different. I guess the first adjustment have to come in your mind,
Yeah.
because you're growing up thinking and hearing people say all the time, "Oh, when you get 18, you move out," or "When you get
Yeah.
18, you'll be able to do this, or that," right? And now that you're home and you're gonna be home, you have to figure out, okay, what does that statement actually mean? You know, and what is the pressures for you guys being told that you should leave, you know, from a realistic standpoint? Like, Daniel, when you were coming back home from the military, you were like, I am not coming home. You were 100% adamant about it. And I was like, well, you always have a place at the house. And you were 100%, that is not what I'm going to do. What were some of the pressures that make you feel like this was not a good choice? Like, real talk.
I think some of the biggest things I was thinking about to actually go get my own place and not stay with you is, number one, just the privacy.
Yeah.
Being able to come home to your own house, to your own place, whatever it is it's just a feeling like when you get in the door, it's a weight off of your shoulders. You don't have to worry about anything. You can just get in the crib and just do what you do. Living with other people, you kind of have to be
Conscious
mindful
of space.
or
Yeah.
conscious of their space. Yeah, so that's one of the biggest reasons. And number two, you know, I'm just out and about. Me,
Yeah.
I'm a energetic person.
Yes.
I like to do different things. I might want to go play music loud in the house, but you don't like my music or stuff like that.
Right.
And that's another thing I was thinking of. But sometimes sacrifices pay off in the end.
Yeah, and what about, were you ever concerned, or any one of you concerned about what your friends would say? Because let's face it, it is quite against the societal norms right now to stay home. Even though people are changing because of COVID and everything, more people are moving back home, you know, because of the whole economic situation of the country right now. It's harder to live on your own and do stuff like that. So even though those things are changing, but still you have people out there that would say, why do you want to stay home? You need to go out. You're not being an adult if you stay home.
For me, I stopped caring about what people think a long time ago. So staying home, it wasn't even a question to me anymore. And for me, it's normalized for me to stay home after I graduate, because
Wow.
I'm not going to school, at least right now. So there's no major reason for me to move out, and it's the most logical choice for my situation, at least.
Right.
It could be different for somebody else.
Yes.
But for me, staying home and just saving up, working, having a place where I can just, a community where I can just call home and relax whenever I want to. Yes, I feel like that's the best choice for me.
Yeah, and you know, not talking necessarily about people who going off to college. You know, we talking about specifically about people who just want to move out of the house so they can go into their own apartment or their own place or roommate with somebody because they feel like it's the thing to do.
I feel like it has a lot to do with like relationships too, because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't have a good relationship with their
Yeah.
parents, or like
True.
they were like in a lot of conflict, and their parents are just like Like when you turn 18, you doing what you. When you turn 18, you could just get out, or they get kicked out, or they just feel like their relationship is just like, okay, well I have to move out to do what I want to do or stuff. I have to move out. So it's just like I feel like it could be a part of the relationship too. But that's
right.
just saying that, yeah.
No, that's true.
Okay, I haven't spoken in a while, so
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like there's definitely that not trend, but the thing is to move out, but I feel like it's not really that prominent for me, at least, because I don't see a lot of my friends moving out and leaving their houses right now. But I definitely feel like this generation considers like moving out the sign, like the telltale sign of you being a real adult.
Real adult.
Yeah.
Whatever that definition is.
I think it also all goes back to the motive. Why are you doing it? If you search yourself, and some people want to move out so they can have the freedom to do whatever they want, not have to deal with answering to anybody and just having their own independence. But on the other side, some people want to move out because, well, we were just talking about school and everything like that. But the motive is the number one, the most important thing. Because at the end of the day, that determines why you're moving out and why you choose to do what you're doing.
Right. I think you said it right. I think motives, and sometimes young people don't want the accountability. You know, sometimes they feel like, okay, I'm a young adult now, and like you said, Jada, to prove that I'm a young adult, I'm gonna move out and I'm gonna, have my own bills and get my own place and go and come as I feel like, and I don't have to be accountable to anyone telling me when to go, or even seeing my mistakes and probably challenging me in some areas and bringing my mistakes to my attention. Some people just don't want that. They don't want to be held accountable like that. But if we do, as you say, start with your motives. Why are you staying home versus moving out? And if you can start there, then you will find exactly if what you're doing makes sense. Is it the time? Because I think a major question that we need to ask ourselves before we move out is this the right time? And then you look at everything else to figure out if it's the right time. Am I where I want to be emotionally? Am I good emotionally without the support of my family? Spiritually, am I able, if that's a thing for you, if your spirituality is important to you, if your relationship with God is important to you, am I in a place where I can go out and hold my own spiritually, And then there's the whole thing too of financially, can I financially go out, hold my own, live the life that I want to live, save, plan for the future, and make good decisions, good financial decisions on my own at this particular time. And I really do think 18 is not the age where you're mature enough to make those decisions.
I feel like a lot of the time, like when certain people are just rushed to move out or stuff like that, I feel like they don't really understand the whole picture of it, because like you can move out, it's like saying you're moving out, like that could be seen as like an easy thing, or I'm just going to move out. But like after some months and you really see how it is going to be, then it's like a whole new thing, because like those bills, you got to keep, you can't go late behind your bills, because they're going to, you're an adult, so they're going to come kick you out just like anybody else. And it's just like you still got to buy like just like you said, money management. That's one of the biggest things. That's one of the biggest parts about it. So it's just like, I feel like a lot of the time they don't fully know what they're rushing into.
Yeah.
I feel like in some cases, moving out, even if it's too soon, it can humble a lot of people.
Yep.
Because a lot of people live in a fantasy or live in what they see.
That's right.
And moving out, once you get out there and you see how real it is and how unforgiving it is, you'll get right real quick. And for some people, that'll get them on their feet and that'll get them to the next level. That's what they need, that extra push. What, for some people, that'll be the reason they moving back in.
Yes, and the flip side to all of this is when you feel like you're financially and spiritually ready, moving into your new house and having your own things can also make you see how valuable your money is and what you're pouring into, and kind of help you see where your head should really be.
Yeah. And if you're living at home and, you know, like when you're a child or a teenager or whatever, and you're living at home, there's a different perspective there's a different way that you see things opposed to when you become a young adult, right? And even though you're still at home, you can still learn those things because it takes a lot to run a household. I mean, when you talk about not even the major things, not the mortgage, not the light bill, not the water bill, you know, not the insurance. When you think about lights, cable, toilet paper, soap, you know, groceries,
something breaking,
you know, if you're renting, I guess you won't have to worry about that. But if you own your own place, you have to worry about that. Just all the other small things that add up that you don't cater for when you're living with your parents, that you can now see through a different lens when you become a young adult. Now you can sit back and say, okay, I'm living in this house, but I can still exercise some of those things. I can still take on some responsibility so that I can start building my muscles, you know, of responsibility and learning that when I get out on my own, these are the realities of the things that I'm going to be facing and the things that I'm going to have to do for myself. And like Daniel said, it's not that forgiving. You know, you don't get it right, you're going to find a real soon, you know, that you might come home and meet your stuff outside.
Yeah.
You know, so, but it's not from the position of fear that you don't want to do it. You just want to be ready.
Prepared,
You know, you just want to be prepared in anything that you do, whether it be moving away from home, whether it be going to college, whether it be buying a car, you know, anything at all that you do, you want to position yourself the best so that you can get the best results. You know, you want to be intentional. You want to have thought it through. You don't want to move on just on your emotions, you know?
Yep.
So next question I would ask you guys, for the decision to go or stay, what did you guys consider that made you feel like the right decision for me? Because I know that this is going to be different from people to people. The right decision for me is to stay home, especially since I have the atmosphere is conducive for me to do that. You know, Jonathan said that sometimes people just don't have that relationship. You know, they're not that fortunate. They have to go. They have to move. But what about the people, the young adults that can stay home but choose to go out? How do you make that decision for yourself, considering only you, like you said, you know, you stopped thinking about what people think a long time ago, but some people are not there as yet. How do you help get yourself to that point? What are the things that you consider that says the best option for me right now is to stay home?
For me, it's what we've been basically just talking about. It's financially, I work at Chick-fil-A, and I definitely do not make enough money to rent to go somewhere and pay up for all of this stuff. Like, I'm not ready at all. And then it's...
But some would say you could get a roommate.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess that's true. But it's also, for me, it's... I don't feel... I feel like I don't have the right headspace to live somewhere else, and
you wouldn't be comfortable.
I wouldn't be comfortable. I don't pay for my own cars yet. I don't pay any bills really, so I feel like I'm just not ready. Like, I don't have the experience, I feel, to go out and just start new and just pay for myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You know, just to step out there right now and say, hey, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know, I can go ahead and do this. Even with a roommate, you just find like, okay, emotionally, mentally, you haven't really even processed through all that, because probably for you, the option has always been, I'll stay home for a while and build and figure myself out before I leave. So I get it.
Yeah, for me, it's the same thing, but it's also the fact that that's a whole nother responsibility and a whole nother thing that I have to worry about. But the way I think about it is, if I'm at home, I don't have bills to pay. I contribute my portion, of course, but I don't have, that's another weight off of my shoulders. I can focus on the things that I want to achieve and the things that I want to do without that extra responsibility and worry.
About doing it. Yeah.
Definitely. For me, the decision to stay at home, I gotta make it every day. I make that decision again and again and again every morning and every
Right.
day when I come back home. I make that decision again. Financially, I can say I'm able to live outside. I'm able to get a crib and live on my own. But sometimes being able and being comfortable when you're able is two different things. Sometimes you want to be able to not have to worry about micromanaging every dime or micromanaging all your time. Sometimes you just want to be comfortable, and that's why I made a decision, because I'm comfortable at home. I don't have to worry about too much. I give what I got to give to my mom, Dukes, and I'm happy. I'm happy at home, and plus I'm a extrovert. Just like ADHD, I can't sit still. So if I don't have nobody else in the house with me, I'm gonna be all over the place. So a lot of things go in my decision to stay home. And I'm a mama's boy, so I ain't got to go too far to see my mom's.
But this is the thing I want to point out too. You guys are welcome to stay home. Whatever you give to me is whatever you want. And I know we've already had that discussion and stuff like that, because for me, more than anything else, it's just important for me to provide a cushion for you guys to set yourself up for your future, and not just today, because you're 18 now. But 25 is coming, 23 is coming, 22 is coming, 28, 30 is coming, you know. But what can we do right now in the present that can set you up, give you the advantage so that you can be way better off? And if that means staying home and not paying me anything, that's perfectly fine, as long as you have a plan, and as long as we can see that you're working towards something, you're saving, you're thinking you're forward thinking. And if in your heart you decide, oh, I want to give my mom something because I'm staying here, you know, and if I had to stay someplace else, I have to pay, or whatever your reason is, and you decide that you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. But the point of staying home is not to stay home and contribute to me. It's stay home and in a way manage yourself to the next level. So for those who might think, oh, you're gonna let them stay home, they're not gonna learn anything if they don't pay a bill. Well, they could be learning a whole lot more, or they could be learning a lot in addition to paying bills. But if bills is not the route that we've taken at this particular time to teach a lesson, that's okay too. It doesn't have to be necessarily bills. There's so much to learn before you step out there. Managing your credit. You don't have to pay me to learn that. You can save. You can get a credit card, learn how to manage funds coming in and coming out, and how to strategically pay bills and stuff. So the only way to teach somebody how to be mature is not necessarily for them to pay a bill. You know, there's several ways to do it. And just because you're not paying towards the household bills or something like that, that doesn't mean that you're not developing the skills in the home that's going to set you up to be successful going on. But I think Jonathan had something to add.
For me, I feel like it'll just come back to preparation. Like for me, in my head, I'll create a list of things that I would want to have done before I moved out. So it's kind of like I have like a stepping stool, kind of like a cushion for myself when I do first move out. So it's like, and that list could be like a combination of like finances and stuff to put in the house, or just different stuff like that, like who gonna be in the house with me, or just where is it, or just have like a good preparation phase, so it's like when I do step out, I'm totally comfortable and in my head. So like not just like out in my house, but like just like Jada was saying, like in your head you have to be comfortable, like
right, you gotta be mentally prepared,
not in enough position to where I'm not like in the house. I have my own place, I'm out, but I'm like in my head I'm stressing like, man, I know like just all these things I'm worrying about when I could have just prepared myself before.
Yeah, that's the key. The foundation is preparation. So regardless of whatever you're thinking, and if you guys have any advice, here's the time as we wind down that you can, mention those advice to young people who may be thinking about leaving home, and your encouragement is to step back and think it through.
Yeah, I would say, one, it all goes back to the motive, like I was saying, and the why you're doing this, why you feel like you need to do this. And the second thing is, whatever you choose to do, that's perfectly up to you. But just make sure, like Jonathan was saying, make sure you have a plan, and make sure you're 100% ready for whatever it is you choose.
I want to say that staying at home doesn't mean you're unresponsible or not seen as a true adult. Staying at home, or lazy. Staying at home, it allows you to save. It allows you to, you get your own money, so you could be like, for me, I go, okay, I'm going to put this aside for savings. I'm going to get groceries. Like, I buy food and everything like that. So.
I know. I go to Jada's room to ransack and find stuff.
Me too.
Yes, and then it allows you to ask for help without walking out all by yourself. You can decide what responsibilities you want to take on without having to take everything on.
Yes, that's a good point. That's good.
And I'd say, speaking about moving out, it's, well, don't come back to me. I just lost it. Go ahead. Hold on.
The advice I want to give about moving out, like everybody is saying, be prepared. One of the biggest things for me moving out, because I lived on my own in Japan for 4 years, the biggest thing is the unexpected.
Yes.
Start thinking about the unexpected now. Put something aside, even if it's $25, $50 a check. Put it aside into a savings account, something, because it's always something that's gonna pop up. It might be a light bulb, it might be a cracking something in the house, or it could be something big. It is your car, your house, anything. So make sure you have that savings put aside for the unexpected, because the unexpected will happen.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, moving out is not that. I mean, staying in the house is not that crazy as it seems. Like over here, it's like this crazy thing you have to move out. But like outside the country, in different countries, it's normal for them to stay in the house.
That's facts.
After they graduate for a little time, so to get themselves on their feet. So
Yeah, and I believe
outside of here, it's not the norm. But here, it's not the norm. If that makes sense.
I get that. That makes sense. That makes sense. And what I was going to say is, before I cut you off, I'm sorry. What I was going to say is, if I'm going to take it biblically just for a small second, back in the day, in the Bible days, families prospered together. They stayed together. They married, and the wife would leave her family and come to the family of the husband. And when they moved as a family. You know, and Job moved, not Job, when Moses moved, he moved his entire family. Like at different times when people move, they will move together because there's strength in being together and being, you know what I'm saying? There's strength in numbers. And then, like Jonathan rightly said, the culture outside of America is just this Western culture where people get up and get out, you know. But the culture, if you go to Africa, if you go to India, if you go to England, you know, if you go to the islands or Japan, people stay home with their families until they get married. Especially the women. Like, you marry the woman and then you take her home or you take her out from her family's home. But her living by herself while she's not married is not even a thing, because that's a whole not a level of temptation and dangers and stuff like that. That's how, you know, young people can make a lot of mistakes, you know, emotionally, sexually, you know, all these whole financially, all these whole different ramifications that now they have to rebound from. Like you find in my industry dealing with credit, you find that there's a lot of people make a lot of mistakes with their credit between the age of 19 and 26. Now, if you had stayed home, you probably wouldn't be trying to recover your credit at 28, 29, 30, you know, when you should be thinking about, let me buy a house and maybe rent it out. Let me do some investments. Now you have to be repairing mistakes that you've made. So a lot of families they stay home so that they can become better and stronger and present themselves, you know, to the world or even to the community more prepared and stuff like that. So in the islands, like I said, where I'm from, you stay home with your parents until you get married, you know, and then if you do move out, because I know it's you know, times are changing and stuff, but if you do move out, you still have to support. A lot of people, when they move close by, you know, their parents. So if I need to run home and get some food, or if I need to go to my aunt and do something, families are so much more together. So don't be in a hurry to separate as much as you're in a hurry to prepare and build. So that is it for this episode. Did you guys have anything else?
No, I think you said everything.
Okay, that's a wrap. Bye. Do like Daniel. Do it again, Daniel. No?
That's his thing.
Wow.
And
Hey, so that's it
Thank you for watching today's episode. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. New episodes drop Wednesdays each week. Remember to hit the notification button so you never miss when we post. See you later. Bye.